Hello everybody, welcome to Murphy's Point Provincial Park. Lovely to see you all out here today. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Good? Enjoying the weather?
Better than yesterday.
Better than yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was a little freaky. Just a little. Pretty impressive clouds. Well, I'm glad that you're out here today enjoying the weather, and I hope that you're excited to meet my friend right here, Micah. Micah is, I like to call him our park ambassador. He is a gray rat snake, and this is a very, very special species of snake that we have here at Murphy's Point. We're very lucky to have them here, as there are very few places in Ontario where you can find these snakes in the wild. So gray rat snakes live in the United States as well, but in Ontario they're only found in this Frontenac Arch area, which is sort of Kingston, Charleston Lake, Murphy's Point, this general area, and then the north shore of Lake Erie, and that's it. So they are a species at risk. It's a threatened species here in this area, and on Lake Erie they're considered endangered as well. So gray rat snakes. I like to think that we're lucky to have them here. I think they're fascinating creatures, beautiful animals. Do you feel the same way?
Not particularly.
What's that? Not particularly?
Not particularly.
She's honest. Good. Some people like them, some people not so sure. That's okay. There are a lot of fears surrounding these snakes, and I hope to dispel some of those fears for you just by explaining a little bit about the biology and ecology of these snakes, what to expect from them, and you know, what you're not going to expect from them. So gray rat snakes, first of all, are the longest snake in Canada. Pretty darn big. The record-breaking gray rat snake was, at least 8 feet long in Ontario. It's highly unlikely you're going to find an 8-foot gray rat snake around here. The largest we've found in the wild is around 6 or so feet. This guy, Micah, when he's all stretched out, is about 6.5 feet long, or 6'4", 6'5", the last time we measured him. So when he is all stretched out, he is a pretty impressive looking snake. And when you see this stretched across the driveway or one of the roads in the park, I don't blame you for being a little bit, you know, a little bit shocked, a little bit amazed. It's a large snake to see, especially in Canada, in Ontario. We're not used to seeing huge snakes like this. Now they are fairly narrow for their length, though, but that doesn't really matter for a lot of people. They're like, big black snake, scary. But I'll tell you, these snakes are not dangerous to people. Sure, they can bite if they want to. They have very, very tiny teeth, but you don't really have to worry about those teeth. They're not venomous snakes. So does anybody have an idea what these snakes do to catch their food, maybe? Strangle them? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yep, these are constrictors, so they're not going to subdue their prey with venom. They don't have any venom. Instead, the snake will wrap itself around its prey, not quite like it is around my arm. It'll catch it first with its mouth, grab onto it, and then wrap the body around and give it, you know, a very, very dear hug. The last hug it's ever going to have. And then the snake swallows its prey whole. So, any clues as to what rat snakes might eat?
What do you think?
Maybe rats? Oh, good question. I mean, a good
Answer.
Answer. Yes.
He wants to say over here too.
What were you going to say? Frogs? Not frogs, actually.
Water snake.
No.
That's a different one.
Definitely water snakes. We'll talk about water snakes in just a minute. What's that?
We saw one.
Oh, you saw one? Cool, cool. So you're certainly right with rats. Other rodents as well, small mammals. Chipmunks are a favorite of gray rat snakes. Lots of chipmunks around here. And they'll also eat birds and bird eggs. So that might tell you a little bit something else about this animal. He is a very, very good tree climber. Now sometimes Micah is cooperative and he'll actually climb on the tree a little bit. But he is very old and tied up in knots, and he's pretty heavy too, and it takes him a while to actually kind of stick on the tree. But we'll see if he feels like climbing a little bit today. Well, he is approximately 30 years old.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty much as old as they can get. Now these snakes, they go up in trees for a number of reasons. First of all, to find food. Maybe they're going after some baby squirrels in a nest or bird eggs, something like that. Can you think of some other reasons why a snake like this might want to climb up into a tree? Yeah?
For protection.
For protection, yeah. Okay, so to find food or to keep from becoming something else's food, right?
Yeah.
So rat snakes have predators, birds of prey, for example, animals in the weasel family like mink. We have records of snakes being attacked by mink. And then domestic animals too. Think of dogs and cats even, especially with small, young rat snakes. So there are lots of things out there that could harm a snake. So going up into a tree is a good place to avoid predators, for sure. So finding food, avoiding predators. Any other reasons? What might you want to be doing on a day like today?
Cooling off.
What's that?
Cooling off.
Cooling off, or
Warming up.
Yeah. So rat snakes. Okay, he's not going to stick on the tree today. He's okay. He's allowed. He's an old guy. We give him a break. So rat snakes will go up into trees to go out and bask on the branches. And a day like today, probably they don't need to do a whole lot of basking because the air is pretty warm. Rat snakes, like other snakes, turtles, amphibians, they're ectotherms, which means they're cold-blooded. They don't actually have cold blood, but they can't regulate their inside body temperature by running on the spot or shivering or sweating or anything like that. They have to rely on the outside temperature of the air and the warmth of a sunlit rock or something like that to warm up. And then if it's too warm, they need to find a place to hide, to get out of the heat. They'll go inside a tree if there's a hole in the tree trunk or something like that. Now, a lot of people, when they hear that rat snakes are tree climbers, they get a little bit freaked out. Oh my goodness, there's going to be this giant black snake falling on my head out of a tree. It's highly unlikely that that's going to happen because these snakes are built for climbing. Unfortunately, Micah's not a great example on a day like today, but you can see that his body is built for tree climbing. You see the snake has a pretty flat underbelly here. It's even a little bit slightly concave, whereas a lot of snakes, like garter snakes and water snakes, are quite round. A rat snake has this flat underbelly, and then the rest of him is kind of round. So if you cut the snake in cross-section, it would look a bit like a loaf of bread. And then he's got special scales here, belly scales, that reach out away from the snake itself to grab onto things that it's climbing, whether it's tree bark or, me, or the side of a heritage building or a boathouse or a barn or something like that. And they have very, very strong muscles too. A lot of people mistake water snakes and rat snakes because they are both big and dark, and you can find both of them near the water. But if you were to hold one in each hand, you'd notice that the water snake is kind of squishy feeling, and the rat snake is very strong. It's very muscular feeling. And that's because it's a tree climber. Water snake is not much of a tree climber. Now, people are often concerned about snakes, not only because of are they venomous or something, but will they bite? Will they attack? Do I have to be nervous of getting beaten up by a snake? Well, rat snakes have lots of different defense mechanisms that they'll use when they're scared. And really, they're not interested in beating us up. They're interested in getting away from us because we're big and scary. We drive cars that often hit snakes on the roads, which is very sad. And we have big scary feet that could step on a snake, and you know, they don't know that we don't want to eat them and that we're